I sold over $5 million dollars in the last 2 years in high ticket sales, and I've earned multiple six figures just by doing it. Now, a lot of you are going to wonder more about the numbers, but I'm here to challenge you more about what's the best way to approach life, especially if you're looking for fulfillment and purpose as a man. You see, recently, a few months ago, my life looked fine on paper. I was still in online high ticket sales. I was in a long term relationship, but I started to get into a very broken part of myself because I started to feel very mediocre. Now, for many of you, this might resonate. And for some of you who think mediocrity is okay, this video is not going to be for you. You can just jump right off. I'll save you some time. But for those of you who understand that you want more of life, it's not just money, it's being able to be the ultimate best version of yourself. This is the biggest sticking point that stood out to me. I had this inner voice, this inner calling that I was challenging myself with a few months before I had ended the long term relationship. And I ended up finding myself in complicated emotional states, if you will, of being agitated, of being anxious, and just not being happy. I didn't really know what it was, but in the end, I found out that I was highly comfortable. Again, I was used to my environment. I started to mold myself around other people, and I was being incongruent with the person who I was supposed to be. So at that time, I did the right thing, which felt like the right moment, which there's no other explanation, but it was just more about trusting that inner voice, which for a lot of you, if you have that inner voice, you're going to know that it's going to be your intuition that leads you into the next greater things of life. So I followed through. I ended that long term relationship. And this wasn't an overnight decision. It did take some time for me to process it and come towards that conclusion. And then a few months after, I had made the decision to move out here to Colombia, which, as many of you can see, it's absolutely beautiful out here. But again, I'm not here to distract you with an illusion to showcase you something that social media might just give you this whole false hope of happiness, because this is not that kind of video. Now, through that decision of ending the relationship and moving to Colombia, I had to go through a lot of different, I guess, as my mentor says, the terror barriers. It was having to make those hard decisions, leaving my hometown, leaving my family, leaving my friends, leaving everything that felt so familiar, and moving to a country that I've never lived in before, never even really known about, but it just felt like the right decision to follow through. And the biggest thing that I could share with you is that currently, right now, I feel absolutely free because I'm following through with the type of identity that I am. Perfect example is this morning. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Even though I didn't feel great, I'm currently still going through a little bit of a sickness. I had a few hours of sleep, but I woke up, showed up to the gym to train with my boxing coach. And after that, my whole day just fired up. Even though I felt tired, I was still able to push through and do everything that I had to do throughout the day. I closed a $12,000 deal online. Whether or not the deal closed, it wouldn't have actually impacted it just because I was carrying so much energy and momentum of being in an abundant state. So, a couple things I want you to take away from this, and these are just going to be some quick steps. Pillar number one is going to be more about understanding your identity. Don't worry about the money. The money's going to come through with the identity of whoever it is that you want to be. But that's going to be the biggest thing, is be the person who you're supposed to be right now, not the person that's going to be making 10K, 50K, 100K a month, right? A lot of us, it's always the $1 million threshold or $100 million threshold, whatever that monetary value is, because the value is going to follow in itself. And that value is what's going to free you, because through that value and the service, which essentially leads to pillar number two, is going to provide you with so much fulfillment that you're going to be able to change your states. Those states are what are going to allow you to continue growing in life, and that's what's going to allow you to continue leveling up. Because many of us, and again, this might be for you, you might see that version of yourself that's making X amount of thousands of dollars. Maybe you've done the biggest things that you've wanted to do, right? Retiring your parents, being able to travel the world, having the family that you've always dreamed about. But as you get there, there's always going to be another bigger goal after it. So it's going to require you to level up, and there's going to be that fulfillment and purpose. And it's not anything about the money. It's about who you are in the moment, not in the future, but currently right now. And the last thing is going to be the cost. And this is going to be something that's going to make a lot of you uncomfortable. And this is going to be the hardest thing. You're going to have to let go of a lot of things that are keeping you stuck right now. That's where the whole saying is the cost of greatness. You got to understand that those old habits, the environment, the people that are holding you back, anything in terms of that that's restricting you from leveling up, you're gonna have to let go of those things. And that's the cost of greatness. And it's a hard thing to do. It's gonna be challenging. That other voice is gonna tell you not to do it. It's gonna give you excuses. I had to go through those things myself. It's gonna try to negotiate with you, which you should never negotiate with yourself. This morning, for example, that voice did come up of, man, you should sleep in, you should try to maybe call the coach, even though I didn't. But that's going to be the thing that's going to negotiate you down and keep you stuck at the level. So you're going to have to get into that motion of starting to make those bigger sacrifices, because those sacrifices that are going to lead you more into that vision, essentially, that's what's going to be the biggest pivotal moment that I could offer you in terms of advice. So if there's anything here again that I just want to tell you, it's going to be the identity, the fulfillment, the values that's going to lead to everything that you want. And you're going to have to follow through with the cost of greatness, which is always going to be sacrificing. The funny thing is, at the end of it all, even though the cost is going to sound very high, the fulfillment is going to offset everything, because you started to invest so much into yourself that you're going to walk in a much more different energy, a different vibration. And you're going to have that sense of fulfillment that everything else is just going to be in alignment. Now, if there's one thing that you know that you need to let go of, I want you to comment it down right below this video, just so that you can not only hold yourself accountable, but understand what it is that you need to do in order to make this year your year. You got to understand that there's a lot of people who have 2026 goals, which had 2025 goals, 2024 goals, and all the 20 whatever goals back then, but they're still currently where they're at right now. And that has everything to do with not walking in that alignment, or they're chasing the wrong things or chasing the vices, and they're not happy with where they should be. And I don't even want to use the word happy, because happy is just an emotion that just comes and goes, but it's going to be the fulfillment that's going to be everlasting. So drop that comment. And again, if you haven't followed me on Instagram or TikTok, go ahead and follow my socials down below. You can hear a little bit more about my story. I've got more videos coming out for you guys. Stay tuned, and let's continue crushing this year. Ciao.